Hello.
Back.
Yeah, back for another Sunday.
Oh no, a lot's gone on since last Sunday. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's not been the best week for me at all. But you know,
No.
we're here.
We're here. We're still there. We're still here somehow.
Yeah.
We got here in the end.
Yeah. Somehow, I don't know how, but I got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. My apologies if I'm a little bit off tonight, but I had a tooth extracted on Friday and knocked me for 6, and doctors put me on new medication. That's knocked me for 6, and so yeah, I will try and do my best.
We'll be fine. We'll be here to help each other out.
So not much has happened really.
No. I did get the. I think a lot of people got the Batmobile 66 this week.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
A lot of people did. Yeah, a lot of people did. I also got pack 8 of Optimus Prime as well. That we're just obviously we're bulking out the torso, which I'm surprised because, like I said, I always thought that we would start on the second leg.
Yeah, that's what we did think, didn't we? But no, they've gone for a different way of doing it.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I can see the next pack's going to be the other parts that we've done on this side, if you know what I mean. So we've done this side.
Yeah.
So the other parts for this side. So I think for I would say the next 2 packs, we're probably going to be fitting stuff to this because there's a lot. I mean, the detail on it is really, really good. Really good.
Does look good.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out where the circuit board goes because now we've got this extra light here, the wire. I'm trying to figure out where. So I've got a funny feeling the circuit board's at the back here.
Yeah.
Because that plugs into there. Not only that, there is a sort of like a groove section just here where it would slide into. And when you look at the back of Optimus Prime, he looks like that. So it's sort of in here.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell, I suppose. Time will tell.
That's what Partwork's all about. You just don't know until you get the issue.
No. It's not. It's quite a good sort of you sit there and you sort of figure out where stuff will go. I mean, one of the things is with obviously we're doing the tumbler build.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking, where do the batteries go? Because we've got a big battery box. This is obviously the back of the car. This is the back of the cockpit. We've got like the circuit board. That's probably going to go underneath it. But the battery box is really big. So I'm wondering whether it's going to sit here. But obviously this is going to be right under the back canopy.
Yeah. I don't know that tumble because the way it's built is
weird.
I've never seen anything like it really.
No, it's really it's a really strange build.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't fathom where the battery, because obviously if it's here and it's all covered because you've got the flaps up here and panels and that, I'm just wondering how would you get it in and out to replace the batteries?
Yeah.
Because it's not a small. Hang on a sec. It's not a small battery pack. If I can pull it out, I might be able to show you. Here it is. So here it is. So the only place I was thinking was like, well, on top of here. But I mean, it does sit sort of near enough perfectly on there.
Yeah.
But then how would you get it in and out? I don't.
I can't guess with that build because what is the issue with that up to?
We're up to issue 53 this week, so we get 53 on Wednesday.
You'd think there'd be more about it than what you've got.
Yeah, I mean, when it all comes together, I mean, we've got the front here.
Yeah.
We've got the back, and we've got the cockpit. We have done, to be fair, it's all scattered, but we have done quite a bit. But it's just little things that I sit here and I kind of wonder, where is this going to sit?
Yeah.
Because is it going to be underneath? Is the base of it a lot bigger than we're expecting? I don't know.
But
But
like the Lazy Susan that you made.
yeah, that Lazy Susan part. That's to raise the car because obviously with the wheels now, because the wheels are so heavy, this tiny motor in here, I don't think it's powerful enough to turn the wheels if they're on the floor. So if it's touching on the floor and moving, it's not sort of, it's just not. Yeah, so the Lazy Susan goes underneath it, so these are raised so it can turn left and right. Otherwise, like I said, if it's on the floor, that little tiny motor, and it is a little motor which is on plastic, you would not be able to turn it. So
it's a strange one. So
yeah.
So what do you think of the so far issue 1 and 2 of the Batmobile?
Standard. It's a bonnet. It's really weird. So it's with every part. If you've ever done every car part, you know the first 2 issues, one's a wheel, one's the bonnet. It was the same with the GTR. It was the same with near enough every build we've had. We had like the nose cone for the tumbler, and I think issue 2 was the wheel. So it seems like a progression. Like you get the problem is though, you always know that those first 2 issues you ain't going to touch until near the end. The end, so have to be stored away. But you know, it is what it is. It's good quality. I love the little phone it comes with. It comes with like the little phone. Looking at it, it's going to have so many gadgets, so many little links and bits on it. It's going to look really cool.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm not building it because
no.
But yeah, I mean, you talk about things you get in issue 1 that you don't use. I think the Doll's House runs the record for building something in issue 1 and not even putting it on yet into the hundreds.
Yeah, we've got we're up issue 111, and issue 1 is the front door, and we still haven't used it. In fact, I don't think we put it on the house until issue 118. I think it's 108, 2 issues before the end. So yeah. It's like with every build. I mean, we've done the bonnet for most builds, but you know, even with the Knight Rider, once again, I think you get like the front scanner bumper. That's like the first issue, and once again, that doesn't go on until right near the end.
Yeah. So
they thought it's a sort of a. They used to use it years ago. It was a ploy to sort of entice you, so you'd get a big part in the first issue to entice people to buy it, like in the newsagents. That's how it worked. Because you'd see it, you think, oh, that looks good, it's a nice big chunky bit.
You kind of get an iconic part, and then round about issue 8 it all starts being really small bits. And
I would say the first 6 issues are normally quite bulky, and then it flattens right out. I don't know. I mean, the Lancaster's been different because everything for the Lancaster so far has sort of gone together. I mean, you've been concentrating on the cockpit, and you've got the fuselage as well, and you haven't got anything else. So it looks like you're actually building it up, if you know what I mean. I mean, what about the Titanic? The Titanic was what, the front of the bow?
The forecastle was on the first issue. So, but I know the way they want to apply it, but it's just sometimes a bit of a pain to hold on to issue 1 in good condition for about a year and a half, 2 years.
And you will be holding on to them for that long as well, because it's just the way the part works. So take Optimus Prime for instance. The first issue was the head. You know that the last bit to click into place will be that head. So you now have to keep this safe, secure somewhere until the very end. The same with the RoboCop as well. You get the helmet section. obviously issue 98, you get the face section, so you have to leave it off until then, which is 2 issues before the end.
Iron Man was the same, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You got the
it was
issue 1.
Yeah, and you didn't put it on until very near the end. So they sort of do these things to entice you. But it was a ploy that they used to do when it was at the newsagents, because you would see it and you'd go, oh, and you'd start building it and then you'd carry on.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to do that sort of thing anymore, but it's just the way that they sell, like, sort of playing out. But yeah.
So, I mean, I'm yet to still start my Lancaster. I've got up to issue 6 because I'm doing it subscription and not from the shop.
Yeah.
So I'm yet to start mine, and goodness knows what art's going to be, because I'm trying to catch up on the Rossi at the moment, and that thing's nearly been flown out the window a few times.
As you can see, I'll pan over. There is no alien here.
Oh yeah, I saw your video that you'd moved it into the living room.
We've moved. Well, it's not just moved to the front room. It's. I'm not going to spoil it, but just watch this week and you'll find out what's happened. But we're finally there. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
That's why it's not here. But yeah, there will be a big reveal where it is, because I took a photo of it next to the TV in the front room. So either side of the front of the TV now we have an alien and the Terminator.
Yeah.
And then hopefully above it will be the Enterprise when that's done.
You know what? If I put the Terminator next to the TV, I don't think Julie would sit down here. Yeah.
I thought it was the alien. I thought I'm at ET. I thought it was that one that was like. They didn't like ET.
No, I don't get that. You want to do the alien, but you don't want to do the ET.
Do you know what? It's an iconic film, but it was never one that I sort of watched over and over and over again. Back to the Future, I watched over and over and over again. But ET was always one of those ones that I never really clicked with it.
Yeah. I'd like to see something like that in that scale of maybe Yoda.
Oh, do you know what? That would probably be a perfect film.
That would.
Yeah.
Same scale as Yoda. That would be awesome. So,
yeah, we've been moving so you could have his hand come up like with the Force.
Yeah.
You could even give him a little green lightsaber. Yes, you know what I mean?
We've got to have a Yoda as like that.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that they've not done C-3PO. They've done R2-D2. And I reckon you could make a very detailed, good part work for 3PO. I mean, we've done Terminator, we've done the Batman figure, so there's a way around it to do it. And he's got those. I mean, you could do him so you do the inner structure as well, because like in episode 1, you saw him with all these bits off him before he gets his gold sort of plate on him.
Yeah, well, silver at first.
Silver at first. And then you could, you know what I mean? You could then.
Episode 3 when he went to gold.
Was it gold? Yeah. Did they ever? I know I've watched like the newer films. Did they ever tell you why he had a red arm?
No.
Or was it a red leg?
No, it was a red arm.
It was a red arm. Yeah, I thought it was a red arm because I remember him just appearing in The Force Awakens and he had a red arm, and I was like, "What's that then?" How did you get a red arm?
They never explained that at all.
No, never.
Yeah, he was silver in
episode 2,
Attack of the Clones, and then he got his gold in episode 3. That's
yeah.
Even though I think didn't he have a silver leg?
He did. Yeah, I'm sure he had a silver leg as well.
The original figures had
a silver leg. Yeah.
I
still think it'd be quite good to go with R2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take my hat off. Hang on.
But yes, a same size Yoda would be good.
Yeah, it would. Look, they've done ET, so they can definitely do Yoda. That's for sure.
Yeah. That'll be hopefully the next one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they carry on a lot of these part works I mean, we've got the Tumbler, we've got the 66. We may be getting the 89 as well.
Yeah.
And but we've got Optimus Prime. We need Megatron now to go with him.
Yeah.
We need the two bad. We need the baddie and the goodie. We need both of them. I think we should have a Predator as well.
The only problem is with the. I mean, they found this problem with Megatron. They had to change it for the movies because in the original TV series, he turned into a gun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they had to change that.
Yeah. Well, they done a big mass thing. I'm a massive Transformer fan, so. But when Michael Bay did it, he wanted it. He thought the idea of taking something so big and shrinking it down, the idea was silly. Yet he created the Allspark, which done the exact same thing. But he said that if Megatron's this big, it needs to transform into something of equal mass.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they changed him. But Megatron actually, in the films, he's the one that goes through the most change. So in the first movie, he was a Cybertron plane. Second movie, it was a Cybertron tank. The third movie, he was a truck.
Yeah.
So he went through quite a lot of stages of like difference, if you know what I mean. But I think Megatron would go well. A lot of people said Bumblebee. I think it would be quite boring. I've got a lot of Bumblebee figures, and in terms of like build and stuff like that, I think it would be pretty basic. Secondly, as well, if you want it in scale. Bumblebee only goes up to like his first truck leg on his leg.
Yeah.
The Bumblebee's quite small, so it would be a small build. So that's why I said you'd have to have Megatron because it's equal sizing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And obviously there's Ed 209. They've done RoboCop. They have to do. I mean, imagine if they come out with an Ed 209. I think you would get more people doing that than doing the RoboCop build now.
It's getting the balance right though with Ed 209.
Yeah.
It's you got to get that balance perfectly. So it's
the balance would be because I like you said, I think it'd be very very top heavy because he's got these two legs. Though you could position it in a way, he would be really top heavy.
Yeah.
To see him
but then
tumbling.
people might say, well, we want the RoboCop 2 figure.
Yeah. I mean, it has a slightly different paint job. That one.
No, I'm on about the other that they made in RoboCop 2.
Yeah, Kane.
Yes.
Kane. Yeah. That was cool because it had a lot of like different parts of him, and it would mean you would have to have a little LED screen for his face.
Yeah.
So that would be cool.
But the trouble is with that is you could be promoting something that you don't really want to do because obviously he was addicted to nuke.
Yeah, drug. He was a drug dealer that they took and put in the body, wasn't it? So he was addicted to nukes. So he was designed to eliminate it, but he was too addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that's a Warren hole I don't really want to go down.
Yeah. It's a bit like it's a bit like Johnny Five. It's a bit like one of those do we touch that or not sort of thing.
Yeah, do you or do you not?
Yeah.
Well, we never know these things can happen.
No.
So I think Todd's spearheading for Johnny Five.
Yeah, like I said, I heard rumblings that there was talk of them looking for material to do Johnny Five. And would get around if they didn't do a magazine, they'd just done instructions. That would definitely get around the controversial bits.
Yeah.
So
just have to see what happens.
Yeah, we just have to see.
Never say never with Partworks.
Yeah, how many times we said that?
The one thing I'd like, I might start an online petition, is for the Bumming Dictionary to actually recognise the word Partworks.
Oh yeah. It's not a word, is it? It's really strange. It's not actually a word.
No, and I think there's so much of it about. Why isn't the dictionary recognising the word? Yeah,
because Partworks have been around for years, years and years and years. So
I think it should be recognised
It should
personally.
be, yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll do an online petition and set it up.
Yeah, maybe. See what happens. It's always worth a try.
Right, I'm going to get on with this chat because we've had quite a bit. I've tried to star it the best I can, so I know which bits to read out. So first I've got in tonight is Spider Sprue, who says, "Hi Mark and Kev, and congratulations on your 4K, Mr. and Mrs. Nexus."
Thank you very much, Spider Sprue there. Thank you.
Evening, JP. Sorry. Then we've got D Harris. Says, "Good evening, Mark and Kev."
Hi, D.
Then we've got Burgess in saying, "Evening all." Evening, Burgess.
Hi, Burgess.
We've got Dave Mark Builds in saying, "Good evening, Mark and Kev. Have a great stream tonight. Thank you very much." Evening,
Dave.
And then we've got David Phillips says, "Evening all." Evening, David.
Hi, David.
We've got Scott Duggan in saying, "Hi all. Here for another happy Sunday live stream." Definitely.
Cheers, Scott.
We've got Horlicks in saying, "Good evening all." So evening, Horlicks. Then we've got Mad Dad Hobbies in saying, "Evening, keeping me company as I travel on the M4. Wow.
Cool.
Safe journey.
Safe journey, yeah.
Definitely. We've got Peter Webster in saying, "Hi Mark, Kev and chat." Evening, Peter.
Hi, Peter. Hiya.
Hope you're okay after earlier, but
yeah,
I'll tell you about that after, Kev.
Right, okay.
We've got Go For It Painting who says hello. So hi, Go For It.
I'll go for it.
Steve131 says at Modz was in Netherton yesterday, saw the Titanic anchor. It's a big lad. Yes, I've heard of that. That's one of my bucket list places to go is Netherton.
Yeah.
Yeah. But evening, Stephen. Yes, I'd love to get a picture next to it. Next, we've got DS Models who says, "Hi, everyone." Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave.
And we've got Todd in. Marvel
Hi, Todd.
says, "Hello and good evening, all." Hi, Todd. We've got Kenneth in saying, "Afternoon, Mark and Kevin. I'm sitting here working on my fan home Iron Man while I watch my favourite people. I'm on stage 19 of my Iron Man." Wow. 15, sorry. I told you I'm not with it.
It's okay. Hi, Kenneth.
Lord Peter Webster says, "Got my 66 and pack 3 of the 007 DB5. Nice. Quite a bit of building then, Peter.
Yeah, quite a bit of building on the DB5 there.
Yeah. We've got John's model making in saying, "Evening, Mark, Kev, and all in chat." So evening, John.
Hi, John.
And we've got Mum and Son train fans, rail fans in saying, "Hello to all." So hi, Tammy and Ray.
Hiya.
Thank you for coming along. Right, this is where I think I didn't. I did start up to it. We've got Scott Duggan in saying, "I'm waiting for the power mod for the tumbler."
I think there's already one. I think Ian's already done one, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's done one.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm just going to double check on that one. I'm sure he's definitely done a power mod for it.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, head over to Partwork Upgrades. The power mod is on there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the power mod was done.
Yeah, I thought that. We've got Facebook user saying hi both. So hi to you too. Dave McBill says keyboard is playing up again. Oh no.
There's always one thing. That's why I find there's always something.
Where every key is on a keyboard and he takes them apart and cleans them.
Oh.
So, yeah. Dave McBill says, "Tomorrow I'm doing the Warhammer Bane Blade tank. We're making a start on it."
Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That's a cool tank, that is. We're talking Warhammer, so it's more my end, I think.
So it's me with Warhammer. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Steve131's got his thumbs up. Lord Peter Webster says, "You'll be surprised how strong these small geared motors are, Kev." Yeah,
I know how strong they are, but the strength, I think, comes with the gears as well. So it's on a plastic. It's the gear is on a plastic gearing. So I find that the plastic gearing tends to be a little bit brittle. And if you're on a die cast, but on a plastic gearing like that is at the minute, I find that it once again it's brittle.
Thinking about it from an RC point of view, I don't think it would be able to turn with the full weight of the car.
No, this thing is going to weigh. It's going to be incredibly heavy because we've got the armor sections. I'm pretty sure they're die cast.
Yeah, I mean, if you thought something like the Root Master, you could no way get that to turn on its own with a motor.
No, that thing is monstrously heavy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the Lazy Susan is for underneath, and yeah, it's going to be like that.
Yeah, someone did mention though that it doesn't now with the wheels up like they are. It now doesn't sit underneath it properly. I still think there's something else to go with that base. I still think it sits into something else, but it is supposed to fit on it to raise it up. But then again, we haven't fitted all of the parts yet, so I think there's going to be more weight pushed down on this, so this will sink down once it's on.
Right.
But I mean, when I was looking at this week's issue, we put the back burner on the back wall. So hang on, let me take it off. So we put this on this back wall here. Now, obviously, there's 2 wheels to go on this bit here.
Right.
And they are big. I mean, they're like, I would imagine that thick because the overhang. So this is the end of the car. This is the side of the car. The overhang is going to be somewhere here. Right. So these tyres are going to be that big, I would imagine.
So that'll be like Eddie Sturback, a wheel hub in one issue and then a tyre in the other.
Oh yeah, I mean there's going to be 4 tyres here, so I would imagine it'll be 2, 4, 6, 8 because you'll get the rear, you'll get just the rubber, and then you'll get the in part of the tyre as well in another issue. So they'll stretch that out into six issues easily, 6, 7 issues, 7 or 8 issues. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 8 issues easily.
Makes for great content, doesn't it? When you just don't get much.
Yeah, well, I do prefer getting it from the newsagents because you get one every week. But sometimes I wonder, because obviously I do this every week, so I collect it from the newsagents, whether there's actually going to be enough content there, because the amount of parts that we're actually getting and then putting together isn't a lot at all. So sometimes it's a bit like, it was getting like that with the Alien as well, though, because you were getting 2 bits, sticking them both together, taking like 2 minutes to do. So I do wonder if it does it have enough. I mean, the Lancaster and the Disney Dollhouse, there's a lot of stuff to build in each issue. So the content's quite good, but no, in terms of the Tumbler, it's lacking, but it is coming along. So
you never know. They sometimes just shove everything they can in at the end.
Yeah, that's another thing. You kind of go, oh, we still got a lot to do, and in the last like 4 issues, you get loads, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. So I can see it. You know, probably like that. But the Doors Horse is like that, where you didn't have much to do for weeks and weeks and weeks. It was just a bit of wallpaper, and now it's like takes an hour per issue.
Yeah. I think as you come closer to putting stuff together, that's where the time takes up, because you're actually having to build it. And obviously with the car, we won't, with the Tumbler, we won't have a chassis that goes over the top like we do with most cars. We'll be building around the cockpit. So what we've got so far, we've got the cockpit, the front and the back. We will actually stick all this together before we start putting on the armoured sections, because they cover a lot of the bits. So once we start putting the armour section on, we won't be able to get into the interior of the car or anywhere underneath it because of how it's armoured up. So
yeah, you just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, just have to see. I mean, it's interesting. It's like you're saying, it's just one of the strange builds.
I've never known anything, but I've never known you get all the electrics for something, and then
we did with the Knight Rider in about 4 issues. We had just all the electrics. Then we had to test them all, and then, like I said, you have to then start taking them all apart, which we've done with the Tumbler. So we checked all the electrics, got all the electrics, and then we've had to take them apart. But you are right. We did get there was I would say at least 10 issues where we were just getting wires.
Yeah.
1 wire, 2 wire, and it was like just plugging into another thing. That was all we were doing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, really is. Okay, we've got Dale McCormick in saying, "Hey Mark, hi chat." So hi Dale. John's Model Making says storage box for £5 for all Partworks is a must.
Yes.
Oh, I've got mine in plastic drawers.
I've got a load. I've got one here actually. So this is a sweetie tub.
Okay.
And I just put all the little screws in there. So they're quite good. I've got a couple of these, and then you just put on the side what build it's for, and you just shove them like spare screws in there.
I think everybody's got their own method, really, of how they.
Yeah. There's always loads of little things to do. I know some people just throw away the spare screws.
Don't always do that.
It's always worth keeping a few screws of every kind because I don't know about you, Mark, but I've come across times where I haven't had enough screws. And I've had to like pick out some of the ones that I've left over, sort of thing. But normally when the build's finished, this is normally full of spare screws, and then I'm left with loads of spare screws. And I don't know what to do with them because you can't.
I say keep them until the build is over.
Yeah, even when it's over, it's a bit like spare issues. When I've got a load of spare issues lying around of things. Of like the Terminator, I've still got issues of the Terminator, and I can't bring myself to throw them away.
Well, it's like throwing away money.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe we need a Partworks, I don't know, spares warehouse. I don't know if that's me or if that's Kev, but Kev's camera's froze. Oh, you're back.
I'm back now.
What happened there?
Was it me? Was it you? I don't know what happened there.
I ain't got a clue.
No.
Right, I'll get on with this chat.
Yes.
Before something happens.
That happens, yeah.
John's Model Making is insane. Are you scaring the neighbours, Kev?
Yeah.
With the alien by the TV?
No.
Ah. Are you scaring the kids?
No. I did say to the kids, shall we have it on the top of the stairs so people see it as they come up? But they didn't want that. So stuck it in the front room. But they're fine with that.
Okay. We've got a Facebook user saying, "I'm dreading restarting the Enterprise."
Yeah, it's a little bit daunting to get your head around, but what I've seen is, it looks awesome. I can't wait for it to be finished.
Yeah, I've got to start mine at some point.
It's well worth it. What I've seen, you do feel like that when you first start, but what I've seen of it, it's a must build.
Yeah.
Stick with it and it will get good. Trust me.
Okay. Steve131 says, what scale C3PO? I would say the same scale as R2D2. So they go.
Yeah, it'd be 1/2 scale. 1/2 scale, half scale. And it would fit perfectly with C3PO. I mean, R2D2, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Burgess says 1/2 scale World of Wayne Partwork? ? Imagine building that. Yeah. That'd be a little bit. Oh, yeah. I don't know what you do in that one.
Yeah, where would you put him?
Yeah. Put him in the shed at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
After TV.
We've got John Builds in saying, good evening, everyone. Evening, John.
Evening, John.
Right, this is definitely where I'm not marked up now. So, Todd has put Partwork, British English, a book that is published in several parts that people can collect over a period of time. Right.
So there is Partwork.
Yeah. But
like I said, Partworks have been around for years. Yeah. And it was originally books and stuff like that. You know, if you couldn't have, it was to bring something expensive to people who couldn't afford it. So years ago, like what Todd's put there. So years and years and years ago, you couldn't afford to buy like the dictionary or something like that. So you would buy A for such and such, and then you would buy B for such and such. So that's how Partwork originally started. So you'd buy part of it and build up.
Yeah. Todd says Oxford Dictionary does have the word.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I always thought Partwork was not a word.
Well, every time I type it down, it keeps on coming up as the wrong spelling.
It parts it when I put it in. It always parts it, so it always does part work as in two different words, not together.
It's strange on that one.
Yeah.
John Bill says, I built my first Partworks in 1995, almost 30 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, I was a kid, and it was a dinosaur. I remember building, it was a glow-in-the-dark skeleton of a T-Rex, and then you got the skin that went over it. That was my first Partwork I ever did, and I think that was around, probably 92, 93, around when Jurassic Park came out.
Yeah.
So that's a while ago.
Just have to see. Graham Loki says, evening, guys. Congrats on 4K, Kev.
Cheers, Graham.
Evening, Graham. Paul Jordan says, evening, Kevin, Mark, and all in chat. So, evening, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Todd says, I was just in the Orlando Titanic exhibit yesterday. Always good fun. Oh, I wish I could go there. Really wish I could go there. We've got the same comment from Paulie's channel hopping saying, evening, Kevin, Mark. So, Graham Loki says, hi, Kev. Hachette brought out a Games Workshop magazine a while back, Age of Sigma. I have a load of sealed issues if you want them, no charge.
Am I all right? Have I come back?
Yeah, you're back.
I don't know what's doing that tonight. You know, sometimes when it goes seamlessly, then we get other nights where it just does this. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Game Shop work. Yeah. Age of Sigmar's already out. We've had Imperium and Conquest as well.
Yeah, he's saying he's got a load of issues sealed. Do you want them?
Oh,
no charge.
I'll have a load of sealed issues if you want them. No charge. Yeah, I'll have them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll have them. Thank you, Graham. Yeah. Nice one.
Scott Duggan says, I use a dog poo bag for my screws.
Poo bag for screws.
Yeah. Burgess says, I know a guy that should have a warehouse. Right. D says, Partwork warehouse, Ian's house, LOL. So, I think you froze. Yeah, you froze up again.
Right, hang on 1 minute. It's going to freeze again. I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi. There you go. Is that better? Is that better? It might be better now. I've turned it off. Sometimes we've got a load of hubs everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening is they sometimes create a bit of a like the device I'm using or something like that. It gets confused. It's like, hang on, what am I supposed to be using?
Yeah.
It's just what I use is like a booster. Yeah. So everything comes from the main hub, but I boost it everywhere else.
Right.
And I think it just gets a bit funny sometimes. So when I turn it off, it seems to be all right. I don't know why. Oh, yeah. Warehouse. Yeah, Partwork warehouse.
Yeah.
Ian's house, long.
Dale McCormick says, I wish I could afford the Partworks. I'd love to do the Batmobile build.
Yeah, they are getting expensive. We've mentioned it many times on the show before. That the Partworks used to get 4 issues, didn't you? In a Partwork, it used to be about £40 a month. Now they're doubling up on the Partwork, so you now get like 5 or 6 issues a time.
Yeah.
So each month it's pushing it to like £70-80 a month. So it's a lot of money.
It's not cheap at all.
No, not anymore. No, it's not like it used to be. You remember, Mark, when we used to originally do it, we used to pick up issues for $7.99, $8.99 an issue.
Yeah.
We're pushing what, $12.99 now for an issue?
Oh, yeah, it's atrocious. Right. I mean, I can understand the price of things going up, but yeah, it's not. Oh, there's a bit of pocket money. So that's what it was. It was a bit of pocket money you'd have every week.
That's what originally Partworks. That's what originally Partworks was. It was to have something that you couldn't afford at full price, so you got the parts to do it, and it was affordable.
Yeah.
It's now getting into that realm of becoming unaffordable for a lot of people now.
Well, it's a bit like we mentioned this before. The Peter Rabbit cross stitch. Julie wants to do it, and I asked her yesterday. Said, "Well, it's either Doll's House extension or the Peter Rabbit," and she's like, "But I want to do both." I'm like, "We can't afford it. There's no way we can afford to add on to another one." So, it's just out of the question.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I don't even know if Hachette are going to do that extension.
We should find out in issue 116.
Right.
Issue 116 is when they found out in Japan.
Right.
And you do start getting parts for the extension in issue 119 and 120, because I've been watching the Japanese builders build it, and in 119 they get a small bit for the extension, and 120 they actually get a wall for the for one of the shops that you have. So
that's a great way to entice you into an extension, isn't it?
They always, when they've done extensions before, they've done this. So years ago, when I was collecting Partwork from the kids, How My Body Works. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
I remember
where you
that
built the skeleton and you had the interior bits. Well, it was only 70 issues long, and then when you got to 68, they said it was going to get extended, and they started doing the membrane and then the skin. But what they cleverly did was give you the first two parts to that extension before the extension actually happened. So you had two random parts that you couldn't do anything with unless you continued it on. So, and it was one of those builds that they just continued to keep extending it. So it was just a membrane. Then they said they were doing the skin, and then you kind of think, right, we've done the whole body now. We've got the skin, we've got the head, we've got all the membrane, we've got the guts underneath. That's it. And they were like, oh no, we're still continuing it. So they started doing diagrams of the inner eye. So you would build the inner eye bit, and then they done one of how your lungs worked. So you built a diagram of how your lungs worked and how the heart works, and it just went on forever. I think it finished around the 200 mark, but originally the whole skeleton was finished in issue 70.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going. It just didn't stop.
Yeah.
But they do entice you like that. They do entice you with parts of the extension in the first couple of issues, so you continue it along.
Yeah. Good marketing ploy, really.
Yeah.
John's model making said, I had a look on Hachette France and noticed they have a Dark Knight Batman figure and Hogwarts Castle. Yeah,
well, the Dark Knight Batman figure we've known about for a while now. We've mentioned it on the channel quite a lot, haven't we? It's due to be coming to the UK. I mean, I think they're on like near like issue 60 or something like that in France. So I'm surprised it hasn't come out yet. I was told it was due to come out this year. We're still not finished for new releases or anything. So, and the Hogwarts Castle is a sort of a kids one. I don't know if you saw it, Mark. It was oversized, so you get little tiny bobblehead figures for it, and you built the whole thing, and it comes apart. But it was sort of more. It was aimed at kids. It was more aimed at kids. It was sort of the castle's smaller than the figures, if you know what I mean. It was like oversized. It didn't work really well. Some people have built it. It's pretty. It looks okay, but it's not what I would class a proper Partwork. It was more aimed at kids and stuff.
Okay.
I did think they trialed it here in the UK. I think they trialed it here.
Graham Loki says, I'll message you the beginning of the week, Kev, to sort out sending mags to you.
Nice one, thank you.
John's Model Making says you have just reset your Wi-Fi, Kev, and kicked your neighbour off. LOL.
Probably.
Steve131 says price of Partworks killed me off. Yeah,
I think it's killed a lot of people off. But I said it was like a double-edged sword. This I've mentioned it before, Steve, where a lot of people during lockdown wanted more parts, didn't they? And there was this massive movement of people wanting the full build or wanting more parts per month or per week, or what, so they could build it quicker. And a lot of the companies heard this and thought, yeah. But in doing so, what that's done is that it's pushed a lot of people out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dale McCormick says, I remember the Partworks were monthly, about a £5, but it took 10 years to build them. LOL. Graham Loki says, my first Partworks was Build the Red Baron at $6.99 a week. How time changes.
Yeah, I mean, ask if Will's here from Will's Workshop. Ask him how much the issues were for the Mallard. I think they were around the same price. I think they were $6.99 an issue. It's like, yeah.
John Build says the price has gone up. The qualities and design far come down a lot. Yeah.
Well, I would disagree with that, John. I think the quality's gone up.
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of the Partworks back then to what we've got now, I think they're a lot better now. But then we've got a lot more techniques now. I mean, casting detail and stuff like that was harder back then. You got to think as well. You got to remember a lot of the Partworks were wooden as well back then. So we had a lot of wooden planes and boats. Now it's all die cast, and I think you can get a lot more out of it, a lot more detail out of certain things. So
yeah. D says, and to think that the 1250 Titanic years ago was 6 or 7 an issue, with plenty to do per stage. Yeah, because when Eagle Moss re-released that was what, $10.99 an issue. So
for the same Partwork.
The wooden builds did take longer to do, so you kind of was working on it all week and not fire on something. Yeah,
because you had to bend the wood as well, didn't you? You had to nail it in to the actual ballast bits as well. So it was more. I've said this before, actually. I think I've said this before. That Partworks back then were more model based.
Yeah.
Now they're sort of a lot more click and push now. They're sort of, I mean, you saw it. If anyone's seen the video of this, a lot of it is just pushing in. There's no screwing involved. It's all sort of pushing click. So, I mean, if it was made out of wood and that, you'd have to push the bits in, glue it down, sand it. You know what I mean? Knock it in with actual nails and stuff like that. So it was more of a build process, if you know what I mean, than it is now.
I think some people prefer that way.
Yeah, I think from a modelling perspective, I think if I mean, you know, there's always that stigma around the Partworks now around proper models. People can't understand why you would pay that price when, like, take the Titanic. If you took if you said in a model shop, why don't you do the Hachette one? They'd laugh you out of the place because they'd be like, well, just get the Trumpeter one, better quality, better detail. You know what I mean? And they just go through it. But yeah, it's a choice. But I think back then, I think if you said I'll do the Titanic, it was more hands-on, if you know what I mean.
Definitely.
Than I are now.
Todd says, I think the quality has gone up as well. More detail, more paintwork, more tamper printing, etc.
Yeah.
Mad Dad Hobby says, build your own McLaren MP4/23.
Yeah, that's the one I built.
Was about $7.99.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this the other day because I built that. That was my, like, in terms of Partworks, that was my real first Partwork because you're having to screw stuff. but I remember building it, and I remember it came with water slides, and they provided oil. Now, you know, a lot of us now we use oil to do the screws. That was the first model that I built that came with oil. It came in a little bag.
Right.
You could. It came in a little bag, little bit of oil, and you could dip the screws into it to screw in. But it was a sort of, it was weird because it sort of has a lot of techniques that we use now, but it still had a lot of modeling techniques. So you still used oil and you still used water slides on it, but some of the stuff was already on the model, but it was all sort of die cast and screwing. So it was all, it was still some of the old, but some of the new.
Yeah.
It was a good build.
John Build says the builds before was in the hands of the skilled modeler. Now it's just screwed together, so the design should be more in line with a finished display model.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the screws before you learn techniques that you'd never really used before.
Yeah.
So, like plank bending and stuff like that, like you were saying, you know, you learn how to do it. So,
yeah, definitely.
Dale McCormick says you can understand the prices going up as the technology is more expensive to produce the detail. It would be nice to choose the frequency of how many stages you want delivered. So is that, you know, in 2 a month, 4 a month, 5, you get to choose that. So yeah, I can see that. It
could be an option, I think.
Well, Agora do, don't they? They give you the option to pay for it monthly, or every, you know, or get parts every 2 months. So yeah. Burgess says if you need a challenge, look at the Orca. Yes, I've already been told about that from D.
The Orca.
Yeah, it's the wooden ship.
Right.
Yeah.
I do remember the wooden ships. There was one in the shop. I think it was the Black Pearl. That was from Hachette. I think it was from Hachette.
I think so.
But I remember that one being in the shops because I saw it. But then when I saw it was wooden, at the time it took me out because I was like, oh, that would be a bit too much.
Yeah.
But it was a wooden ship build.
Yeah. Steve131 says Tiger Tank was £5 a week back in the good old days.
Yeah.
Todd says everything costs more these days, unfortunately. They will have to put out a higher quality product to justify the prices. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think sometimes that balance works out really well.
Yeah.
And then there's other times when you're kind of like, don't know.
Scott Duggan says, I have 12 builds on the go and need to cut back when models finish, but they keep releasing builds I want, LOL. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Kirsty were talking about this recently, actually. It's like, we love building them, but there has to come a point where we're going to run out of room.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, what do we do now? Because we don't want to get rid of them because we've spent time building this with our own hands. So we wouldn't do that, but it's just we're sort of running out of room a little bit. I mean, I don't know where Wayne's gonna. I mean, did you see Wayne's video this week? What's he got? 26 builds.
26 builds on the go. Yeah,
that's a lot. That's that. I mean, there's enough there to open up his own museum. I mean, they were talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where you would put. I mean, I'm struggling to put the builds I'm doing now. So.
I'm struggling to keep up with the builds I'm doing now. I'm still on catch-up with the Rossi. I'm like, I really want to get caught up on these things, but they just take him forever to do. I didn't realise there was so much. And I've only missed about 2 months. It's not that long of a period of a gap.
You think that, but then, like, you're finding out. It actually is. Yeah.
It's crazy. So, actually, we are actually caught up on chat.
Oh. And it's nearly time as well.
Yes, it is.
We've done well. We've done well tonight.
Especially when I'm not 100%, but hopefully I'll be back to full strength next week.
You've done fine tonight, Mark. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Done perfectly fine.
Knackered. Absolutely run down with it all this week. So,
yeah, I think the weather hasn't helped. It hasn't it hasn't stopped raining. All this week it's just rained. All this week it's been mad.
Roll on spring.
Oh, tell me about it. I just want them. you say this, we'll go, we want the hot weather back, and then we'll be sitting here sweltering, going, bring back the snow, bring back the rain.
Oh dear.
I mean, it's rained so much, right? My wife said, "Don't worry." I said, "It's just rained all this week." She goes, "Don't worry. Come June, July, we'll have hosepipe ban."
Yeah. I'll just read this message out from Burgess, who says, "I got 2 active subs and got a massive backlog, but the R34 is tempting me, and I got that Agora first box free to consider." So
yes, that's the good thing about Agora, is when you subscribe, they give you the next box to another build that you would like for free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a brilliant way to sort of entice you into doing something else.
Yeah, but then you got to build it for next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the Apache.
Yeah,
I was thinking about this. I was like, oh, I'd love to do that, and then I was like, where would it go? Where would I put that to display it well? I mean, because it takes up. I mean, I think it's going to be roughly the same sort of size as the Lancaster wise.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like, well, where? And you kind of like look around. You kind of go, where am I going to put this?
Always find a way.
Yeah, do you know what? It's weird you say that, because you always find some gap somewhere, or you buy a shelf to put it on. There's always somewhere for it to go.
Yeah. So have you got anything coming up this week, Kev?
I'm hoping that we'll get a lot of the Alien. That's for sure. That's coming up this week. But I'm still waiting for RoboCop and Knight Rider and things like that to turn up. So when they turn up this week, I'll have them. But I've got a load of videos that I've done, and I still haven't like published them yet on my YouTube. I've got to find a day where I can just put one out.
Yeah,
but there'll be something.
There'll be something out on mine every day as well. There's nothing special coming out this week, I don't think. So yeah, it's been another great show again, and hopefully, like I said, I'll be back feeling better next week.
You've done well, like I said. You've done all right.
Okay. So it just leaves me to say I've been Mark.
And I've been Kev.
And we'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.
Later, guys.